A Marysville woman is convinced that her mom prepaid for her own funeral.
But when her mother died, she ended up paying thousands more. It was time to call Kurtis.
A horrible, horrible situation to go through. She thinks her mom's funeral was paid for twice. So if your loved one says they paid for their own funeral, how do you really know they did?
She was a good mom. She was a very good mom.
As her sick mother spent her final days at home, Jody Johnson had to bring up a tough topic: funeral arrangements.
I had to ask her if she was sure that she paid for everything. And she was quite sure. She said everything but the flowers.
But around the time of her mom Marlene's death earlier this year, the funeral home, Sierra View Mortuary in Olivehurst, said the arrangements were not paid off. A grieving Jody says she had no choice but to pay what Sierra View asked, and has receipts proving she had to shell out at least $2,800.
I just wanted my mom to have a proper service. It just had to be taken care of.
Parents prepaying for funerals is a nice thing to do and allows them to lock in lower prices. But what can you do so both parents and children have peace of mind the arrangements are in fact taken care of?
Tell the executor of your will that you have a pre-needs and where that pre-needs is with, and keep the paperwork.
California Cemetery and Funeral Bureau spokesman Russ Heinrich says sit down with your loved one and go through their contractor policy and find out exactly what's included and what extra costs may pop up.
A lot of the pre-needs contracts don't include like minister services, they don't include flowers. Opening and closing a grave are not usually included.
I got so many papers, it's unreal.
After her mom's funeral, Jody went through a sea of documents and cannot find a statement showing her policy was fully paid. We contacted the funeral home's parent company, Stonemore Partners, which also told us the policy was never paid in full. And Sierra View actually gave Jody's family some services at no cost.
It's very hard. It's very hard.
Jody knows grieving for a loved one is no time to be dealing with financing a funeral you thought was paid for.
I wouldn't want anybody to go through what we went through.
Well, Jody is now filing a complaint with the State Cemetery and Funeral Bureau, hoping they can sort this out. The Bureau has answers to some key questions about pre-needs funeral plans. Head to my Facebook page later on tonight, and I will link you to it.
Well, you got to think that there's got to be records somewhere on specific numbers.
Yeah, at least that they would have it if she didn't.
And the funeral home is working to obtain those right now. We're talking about records that go back to 1983. So these are really old records. She's also trying to get a hold of old bank statements and to figure out exactly how much her mom paid.
Well, it's so important to get those papers in order, isn't it?
It is. You have to know about the stuff ahead of time, or unfortunately, you're going to go through what she went through.
Okay, thank you.
All right, if you have a consumer problem you can't resolve, maybe we can. You can call our hotline Monday through Friday, or you could always go to our website and fill out our form.